The Amazing Digital Circus is one of my favorite shows ever, and if it sticks its landing, it might end up in my personal Olympus of TV shows. I have already dedicated 3 positive videos to the show, but this time I want to do something different. I want to discuss something about this show that worries me. The Amazing Digital Circus has currently released 7 out of 9 episodes. They were wonderful and I can't wait to see what the remaining ones will show us. But there's something that has been bothering me for the past 3 episodes. The character's screen time. I think we all noticed that Jax has been taking the spotlight since pretty much episode 5, and that itself wouldn't be a problem. Character hierarchy of importance is something every show has, but this doesn't automatically mean that the Amazing Digital Circus is free of this complaint, and I think we should actually talk about it instead of just downplaying this criticism with "you just want your favorite character on screen." Let's analyze each character's screen time until now. Pomni is the protagonist, and her screen time is perfectly fine. Even when she wasn't the focus of the episode, she still had interactions with the cast, and her character arc, at least for now, has been well written. She was barely holding it together at the end of the pilot. The second episode taught her that she has to form connections with the other human players instead of NPCs, and she's been spending the rest of the show bonding with them. If they keep doing this, Pomni's character will be fine. Kane's screen time, too, has been perfectly fine. He's been a comic relief character for all episodes except 7, and considering how it ended, he will probably get more spotlight in the last 2 episodes. Bubble is the comedic relief character, so their little screen time is also fine. Kinger, too, is okay. He had his spotlight in episode 3, an important scene in episode 6, and since it's obvious he's going to be important to the plot in the next 2 final episodes, I'd say he's also safe. Zubul is where the problems start. She already didn't get a focus episode, and episode 3 barely counts. The scenes with her and Kane were good, but it's clear which plot was the most important. Her problem is that she doesn't feel comfortable in her avatar body, an issue which she had begun to get over in episode 6. But then episode 7 happens, and apparently this problem has been resolved. I think this would have been a wonderful arc to show on screen rather than make it happen off screen. Zubul hardly interacts with anyone besides Jax and Gangle, and I can only recall maybe 3 times she and Pomni interacted. Her relationship with Gangle is cute, but sometimes it feels like it's the only thing going for this character. Gangle is an extremely odd case. Despite having a whole episode dedicated to her, she's probably the worst offender of this, as she's always been the most irrelevant. And unlike Zubul, I feel like she hasn't gotten much development after episode 4 besides her one scene with Zubul in episode 6. And just like Zubul, she hardly interacts with anyone outside of Zubul and Jax, and the latter doesn't interact with her much either anymore. Gangle and Zubul are more or less codependent now, and although their friendship is cute, I'd like to see it develop more instead of always showing Zubul cuddling Gangle and Gangle over-relying on her. If given more screen time, their relationship could develop into something more than Zubul acting as a therapist to Gangle, feeling the need to constantly protect her. And just to be clear, Gangle is my least favorite character of the main cast, so I'm not saying this just because I want to see my favorite character on the screen. Then we have Ragatha, who is in a grey area where she gets enough focus through the episodes where it's fine, but it's still notable that episode 5, which was supposed to be her episode, barely felt like it, at least compared to everyone else's. And finally, Jax. Jax is the deuteragonist, who is the second most important character after the main character. The last 3 episodes had a great focus on him, and I really enjoyed all scenes involving this character. Considering how important he is and that his arc isn't concluded yet, it's safe to say Jax will have major roles in episodes 8 and 9. Now, I think the reason why some people have a problem with Jax taking too much screen time is that he became the deuteragonist only from episode 5. If anything, Ragatha had given the impression of being the deuteragonist in the first 4 episodes. This sudden shift in the character hierarchy, in my opinion, is what upset people. At this point, people know that Pomni and Jax are the most important characters, but they are also allowed to care for the other characters and want to see satisfying conclusions to their arcs that aren't just having one conversation and taking care of their issues off screen. I'm not upset that Jax and Pomni take most of the screen time because they are the protagonist and deuteragonist and matter more in the hierarchy. I just feel that this led to half the cast feeling underdeveloped. Personally, after episode 6, I would have put a pause on Jax's character and developed the others for at least 1 episode before going back to him and ending his character arc. Only 1 episode would have been enough, because except maybe Ragatha, Gangle and Zubul don't need that much more development when compared to Jax. I don't think Ragatha having an actual conversation with Pomni about something other than Kinger, Jax, or Ribbit and Kofmo, who are still tied to Jax, is too much to ask, for example. Not showing us that conversation at the end of episode 6 was a huge missed opportunity, as it would have allowed Pomni and Ragatha to just talk about their issues and bond more. If you've watched my Has Been Hotel Season 2 review and also read the comment sections, you will know I personally don't care too much about what creators say in interviews, because at the end of the day, what matters is what is actually in the show. When I reviewed Has Been Hotel, I took into consideration what the episodes showed me. If Vivzipop wanted me to watch a 5-year-old livestream to get vital information on her characters, then she did an awful job as a writer. I occasionally read what Gooseworks posts on her profiles, but I only use the content of the episodes to form my opinion on them. Personally, I'm worried about the character arcs of Ragatha, Gangle, and Zubul because it's clear that Kane, Jax, and Kinger will be the focus of the 2 remaining episodes. Pomni is the protagonist, so I'm not worried for her screen time. I think the reason why people online are much more vocal about this problem is that Gooseworks built her show as an ensemble cast where everyone is equally important, and really didn't start doing anything to contradict that notion until the very recent episodes. Combine that with her outright saying that episode 5 was the Ragatha episode, only to be a secret Jax episode in disguise, and you can understand why people are worried. I don't fully agree with the criticism that the amazing digital circus writes its characters poorly, because it's proven to us that it's not true. But the screen time criticism is far more reasonably minded than I believe people are willing to give credit for. I want to end with this. I hope this video will age badly and all characters will have satisfying conclusions to their arcs. I love this show too much to see it fail. As always, thanks for watching and have a great day.